So my contest prep for 2013. I started prep in January and I had a show in June and first week of June and last week of June. First one being the A&B Asian Pacific International on the Gold Coast, and the last one being the Musclemania Universe. Yes, I did plan to do my best, be my best, and hopefully win those shows. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. And I guess I have a bit of information as to why I might not have looked my best, without making any excuses, of course, and why I didn't really get the results that I was hoping for. So around 10 weeks out from the first show, I somehow wrecked my back doing deadlifts. I was just warming up, nice lightweight. To be honest, it's a stupid story. It's quite a funny story, really. I was warming up on deadlifts, one plate aside, easy, 2 plates aside, easy, 3 plates aside, and I felt a little pull in my lower back. And I'm deadlifting 5 plates aside at this point, so to me, 3 plates aside, a little pull, it's alright, I went a little heavier. Did that set, and I felt a little pull, and I was doing sumo deadlifts actually. And my next set, I kept the weight where it was. What I did though, I changed to conventional, which I shouldn't have done, but I did that. And as I was about to lift it, I could feel my lower back was pretty tight. But I looked over to my right, and there were these 2 kids, 2 young guys, watching me the whole time. So I felt like I was going to let them down, if I stopped and didn't do the lift. I was ready for it, psyched myself up and all that fun stuff. And so I was like, let's just do this. And unfortunately, that one lift pretty much killed my back all the way up to right now, where I just did my first set of deadlifts 2 days ago. And so that was like 10 weeks out from June. Right now we're in 1st of August, so it's been a long time since I've deadlifted, and because of that injury, I was on the ground straight away and trying to use the foam roller and doing stretches and stuff like that. I couldn't squat, couldn't deadlift, couldn't do bent over rows, T-bar rows. I could just barely work with my clients, which was my most important thing, most important activity out of everything, is to be able to work. But yeah, everything hurt. Now things feel better, but that really wrecked my contest prep. Like, training just went downhill in terms of power output and weights that I was using, and exercise choices, and motivation went down a little bit. And my diet was still on track, but obviously the training was here, and it just came down to here after that injury. And I thought I could just, power through it, and thought the diet would just make up for it. But, unfortunately, strength went down, and I didn't really look the way I thought I would, or the way I expected to. So that was number one issue, back injury. Number 2 issue, my wife was in a car accident, which was pretty serious. Put her in hospital for a few days, and she's still recovering now. She's still very restricted with what she can do, so that kind of screwed me up emotionally, screwed up my diet for a couple of days because I felt like crap. Training was still an issue with my lower back, regardless, but still did what I could, but that was like a major impact. Number 2, there was a lot of stress, mentally and emotionally, really. Number 3 issue. No, there was a third. What was the third? There's definitely a third. Number 1 was my back. Number 2 was Jen's car accident. Number 3, my peaking. So like peak week, kind of upped the carbs a little bit too high. Tried something a little bit different with my peak week for the first show, and kind of didn't really work the way we thought it would. I probably looked better 2 weeks out, but 1 week out, upped the carbs and didn't drop them enough, I guess. Been in this position before actually, so I should have been smarter, but you know, these things happen. So I came to the stage looking a little smoother than I wanted to at prejudging. The night show definitely looked better. Dropped my water intake a little bit to kind of dry up a little bit. So that worked a little bit. That worked okay. So that was the first show. Second show, Muscle Mania. Long story short, I had accommodation issues. Didn't have the kitchen facilities that I expected. Didn't have the convenience of the supermarkets near the accommodation that I expected. Didn't have the gyms that I had planned to go to. And besides that, I was there with my family, and I wanted to have a good time with them as well. So training was really downhill. Diet was 50-50, but I still decided I'd still do the show regardless. So I went in there, and my number one, my goal changed from wanting to win and stuff to basically just wanting to fit in with the lineup and not stand out as, you know, someone who hasn't put in the work, because I definitely had put in the work prior, you know, all the way from January right through. So that show, nutrition was pretty poor leading up to it in the last few days. Calories were really low, just trying to you know, have the shape that I needed to be in. I was eating whatever I could. I was eating you know, shredded turkey breast from the delis, and just trying to track my macros, and it was a headache and it was expensive too. So ended up eating at a lot of the hotel like breakfast buffets and just having egg whites and stuff like that. But overall, I placed 4th at the first show. Looking at the photos, I thought I had 3rd, but you know, 4th is what they gave me, so 4th is where I placed. And then the second show, I placed 9th out of 16. When I got to that second show, the quality of guys were way higher than I expected, way higher than I'd ever seen before. And the guys that I competed against, I was probably the youngest dude on stage. So I spoke to one guy, and he's 45, and you know, he told me I've got a long way to go in terms of years of training and stuff like that. So WrestleMania guys are always a higher quality in America anyways, but you know, I went there, I had fun, did my thing. So now that that's over, very happy to be focusing on, you know, what's next in regards to bodybuilding, powerlifting, you know, just general stuff like that. So I'm going to make another video, I guess, on what my off-season plans are, and where I'm going to go from here with my bodybuilding. So check that out.